Vero Nation Network and Christian FM Sports presents Countdown to Kickoff. Brought to you by Cap's Pizza and Pub.
3, 2, 1.
Get ready for Vero football. Christian FM Sports brings you the insights into the Fighting Indians with Matt Paris, Bobby Paris, Ronnie Self, Gary Paris. Now, the voice of the Fighting Indians, Paul Tipton.
Hot summer days are almost over, and it signals the start of fall, school, and Fighting Indians football. Hey, Vero Nation. Even in January, we've got the winter sports that are finishing up. So we've got some guys that do basketball and wrestling and finished with those winter sports. And then in the spring, of course, we've got, baseball and lacrosse and track, and we've got, a wide range of student athletes to participate in those. So we want to prioritize those sports during that time of year. But for those guys that are not participating, we do have the 7-on-7 season, which has become pretty popular, and we do recognize that it's different. It's not 11-on-11, and it's there. We've got to be careful to not become too heavy in the 7-on-7 stuff, because I do think that it can. If you don't do it the right way, it can create some bad habits or some problems. But we do get involved with that a little bit in that time of the year. And then really it's almost like you're spending time in transition. So that you're then transitioning that off season into spring football, where we get those 20 days, and had an opportunity to get a spring in, and it was a shortened spring because of where graduation fell and where we played our spring game. But I felt like that was beneficial. And then you're transitioning to the summertime, where you can get back to doing just all the stuff that I described, and a combination of it all. And so I guess the difference with the summer is then you have your incoming ninth graders. That's a big thing, and this year specifically, it's been an even bigger thing. We've got more incoming ninth graders on this varsity roster than I have to ever start the season. I think we've got 9 on the roster for tonight's game, and obviously one at a pretty critical and important position. But that's what we did in the summer. We continued with the weightlifting. Obviously, the conditioning phase of it is very important, because if anybody's watched any of the news and the heat index and what we're dealing with weather-wise, we've got to make sure that we're always erring on the side of safety and making sure that our kids are in the best possible shape. And football shape is unique than basketball shape, and it's different than track shape, and it's every sport there's a different kind of conditioning, and so we try to get them football ready, and that's a challenge in itself. But I think we're there. I think, we're certainly ready to do something different. I don't know, maybe saying that we're there is a little bit of a stretch, but I think our players, our coaches are ready to see where we're at. There's this, type of anxiety or anxiousness that you get prior to the start of the season, where it's hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. You got to make sure that you cover every little thing, knowing that even though it may have been discussed and may have been practiced and may have been covered, you really need to go against an opponent to see where you're at with all that. And that's the beauty of a Kickoff Classic. We surely have get to go against a talented team tonight in Palm Beach Gardens. But that's kind of the off season in a nutshell.
Well, appreciate that, Coach. We'll be right back, and we're going to talk about some of the old faces that we should see from last year's roster, and maybe some of those new ones. Talk about maybe some of those freshmen. And I'm sure, Coach, that those JV and freshman coaches aren't too happy about 9 guys being up on the roster, and one of those coaches being my dad. So we'll be right back.
Hi, JW here from Barker Air Conditioning and Heating, serving the Indian River County area since 1959 and supporting Fighting Indians sports for decades. We're known for being HVAC specialists for installation and service. Local, licensed, and insured, Barker is a trained comfort specialist that services all makes and models. BarkerAC.com.
Research shows that with a new roof, a homeowner can save 5 to 35% on their home insurance premium. We thank PDK Roofing, a Christian family that's been helping families and businesses for over 2 decades on the Treasure Coast and all of Florida with their roofing needs. PDK Roofing is licensed and insured, and they stay up to date with what insurance companies require so that their client is protected and providing financing options to get people approved. PDK Roofing, online at pdkroofinginc.com.
Headquarters Barbershop is a locally owned and operated barbershop and a proud supporter of the Fighting Indians and Christian FM sports, offering haircuts, beard trims, shampoos, massages, and more. From the kids' first haircut to adults looking for a trim, HeadquartersBB.com for online booking makes it easy to schedule your next haircut. Headquarters Barbershop, open Tuesday through Saturday, HeadquartersBB.com.
More Countdown to Kickoff by Cap's Pizza and Pub.
Welcome back to Countdown to Kickoff. I'm Dr. Matt, hanging out with our very own Coach Lenny Jankowski. Coach, let's talk about some of these players this year that what we consider old faces because we saw them on the field last year.
Yeah, excited. We've got a great mix of guys. Really, it's we started to talk about the offseason, and I think the part that I probably left off was that they're just really a lot of fun to be around. Sometimes, the mix of players, not that we ever have a bad group, but I mean, you're not sure how everything's going to gel and how it's going to mesh. But I think this team has the potential, at least up to this point, to really have a great chemistry, just a nice makeup. And we do have some of those veterans that you're talking about, guys like TJ Alford, the Ohio State commit that plays linebacker and really back for his senior year. He had an incredible offseason and primed and ready to do big things and lead our defense. Of course, his counterpart at linebacker, Afion Rivers, maybe a little under the radar when it comes to some of the recognition, especially playing next to TJ, but really been a steady player for us. And Afion's just one of those guys that leads by example. And I think, playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder just because, he is, a little bit undersized and so I think we're, at least we are as coaches expecting big things from him this year. Of course, it's his senior year. So those two linebackers really are guys that we're excited about. And then, two-way players that, we haven't over the years had a ton of them, but I think this year you're going to see more of that. And guys like R.J. Jones, who's a senior, and is going to play both corner and receiver for us. Obviously, E.J. White, a guy that's just a junior that has, done a little bit of everything all over the field. And also we'll see him at receiver, DB, some quarterback in the return game. E.J. is a little bit of a Mr. Everything kind of guy. On the D-line, we've got, Antoine Montgomery, who's been he'll be a 3-year starter, and he's also we call him Deuce, and Deuce asked for a number change. Sometimes they get to be seniors and they want to get a different number, and he's talking about this kind of number, that kind of number. But he's such a valuable guy that we will use on the O-line that he'll be wearing number 75 as he has in years past to make him an option on the O-line as well. But he's had a really great offseason, actually committed to Austin Peay University over in the summer, and so we're excited about Deuce and his senior year. Romeo Vargas has been a guy that started a bunch of games for us on the O-line, and he's a junior that will obviously start on the O-line but also see some time on the D-line. So those guys are, guys that we're really, really counting on and looking forward to big things. Jarvis Jacobs, also a name that, our fans will remember, and he's had a great offseason. He'll see some time. He's just a junior. He'll see some time at receiver and in the secondary. A sophomore that a lot of our fans will be seeing for the first time that, again, has had a really nice offseason and will play on both sides is Marcus Melbourne. He's really proud of Marcus and what he's done in the offseason to put himself in a position to contribute. And really, I think that receiver group is as deep as we've had it in a while, and really just looking for some guys that will step up. But again, there are many guys. I could go through our roster and talk about those, which I'm sure I will throughout the season. But a lot of guys that jump out. Bobby Burbick is one that will see time. He's a junior. He'll see some, he'll start on our defensive line, but also see some time at that H-back tight end position that we're starting to like a lot. And so, again, a lot of these guys have had great off seasons. Really, really proud of the work that they've put in and looking forward to seeing them in action tonight.
Well, that's Coach Jay talking about the players that are going to be coming back from last year's roster. When we come back, we're going to take a look at some of the new faces. You're listening to Counting Down to Kickoff on your Christian FM.
Comfort Zone AC and Heating of Vero Beach has been servicing Indian River County for over 40 years, using only certified technicians. As a Christian, family, and veteran-owned and operated business, they offer comprehensive air conditioning, heating, and indoor air quality solutions to their clients. Online at ComfortZoneACNow.com. Proud supporters of Fighting Indians.
Summers in Florida mean hot weather with lots of rain. Having gutters that work well is a must for most homes. Thanks to Able Gutter Services for their partnership. They provide premium products crafted to ensure custom integrity. Able Gutter Services in Indian River, St. Lucie, and Brevard County. Their number is 772-766-2554.
HBS Glass is a proud supporter of Fighting Indians Athletics and Christian FM. Since 1973, HBS Glass has served homeowners, architects, and contractors in the Vero Beach area. HBS Glass offers hurricane impact windows and doors. HBS Glass, 722 3rd Place or hbsglass.com. Thanks to HBS Glass.
More Countdown to Kickoff by Cap's Pizza and Pub.
Something pretty unique here at Vero Beach High School. Maybe for the first time, I think that I can remember, and I know we were talking off air that it's definitely as far as your tenure goes, but first time we potentially might be starting a freshman quarterback here at Vero Beach High School.
Yeah, I mean it's been a very fun summer, and the freshman that we're talking about he's got a great name. His name's Champ Mons, and he's going to be wearing number 7 tonight, and a lot of people have been asking about Champ, just through the off season, and the buzz has started already, and I'll tell you, you went through my resume there in one of the earlier sessions, so I've been doing this for maybe too long, but in all my time, I've never been more impressed with a 14-year-old kid. I mean, he's obviously a very talented kid, but I think, on top of, and maybe more impressive than even the physical attributes are all of the mental attributes and qualities that he has. Just a very smart kid. He just embraces all of the concepts. He just wants to learn, eager to learn. Obviously came in very talented as a 9th grader, but just to watch his improvement through the summer has been really eye-opening to me, and he's just a lot of fun to coach, a lot of fun to be around. He's an impressive kid, and we'll just have to remember, as talented as he is just a freshman, and that position, as the perfect makeup for that position, in that he stays very even-keeled. He takes to coaching very, very well, at least up to this point. Games can sometimes be a little different, but I expect nothing but really good things from Champ. Like I said, it's been a lot of fun, and he's a talent both on and off the field.
Well, Coach, apparently he didn't just impress you. He's also impressed coaches at the next level, as he's already getting looks as a young man that hasn't even thrown his first pass as a high school athlete. Yeah, so we got Champ to 4 different schools this summer, 4 different colleges, I should say, and he impressed them enough to all 4 of those universities, and big time universities have all offered him scholarships, and really at that position, that's a difficult thing to get done, and probably the best story of it all is the day before we were headed up to Florida State.
I talked to Coach Norvell, their head coach, and I mentioned that we were bringing up, this 14-year-old kid that has really impressed me. And at the time, I had only been around him for a couple weeks, and so we'd gone to one of their 7-on-7 tournaments, and there's 45 teams, I think, that were at the tournament, and I saw Coach Norvell came up during registration, and I noticed him over there at our first game, and Champ didn't do the first series at quarterback. EJ went with the first series, and all that went fine, and then Champ went with the second and the second series, and those games are very fast games. They're 15, 20-minute games with running clocks, so you get a couple offensive possessions, and I think the best part of the story was that after the game was over, Coach Norvell came up and it was just he and I, and we're pretty close quarters, and he said some things that something to the effect of, "Holy smokes, this is incredible," and when can I offer him a scholarship kind of thing, and I said, "Coach, this is your camp, you do what you want," and so it got him so nervous. He's like, "Well, should I do it after? Should I do it now? Should I, So he ended up doing it at that point in time. So I think that it was Champ's first ever 7-on-7 tournament. So it wasn't like, this kid was a 7-on-7, guy that had done it, since he's been walking. It was his first ever. And so it was pretty neat and to see the excitement on his face. And he had some family members there as well. And so really, really, an exciting time for him. But, and the thing I think that impresses you a lot, it is still, with some of the attention and exposure that he's gained, he has, stayed very grounded and like I said, he's really got it all, from top to bottom. So really excited to get an opportunity to coach Champ in games now and watch him play. And now, I'll become his, at least one of his big fans. I know that he has quite a large fan club, but I'll be one of his biggest fans tonight for sure.
Well, we will in the booth as well. I'm looking forward to it. Well, that's Coach Jay. I'm Dr. Matt. We'll be right back.
Hi, JW here from Barker Air Conditioning and Heating, serving the Indian River County area since 1959 and supporting fighting Indian sports for decades. We're known for being HVAC specialists for installation and service. Local, licensed, and insured, Barker is a trained comfort specialist that services all makes and models. BarkerAC.com.
On Point Dental Care of Vero Beach is a modern dental facility bringing dental care in the traditional sense. At On Point Dental Care, we utilize infection control techniques and the newest technologies to ensure our patients' oral health and well-being is tailored to their needs. Online at onpointdentalcare.com. We support the Fighting Indians.
Hi, Vero Beach. I'm Frank Stora from Tom Collins Insurance. Born and raised right here in a former fighting Indian, I'm very proud to support this team and this great community. Tom Collins Insurance has been locally owned and operated right here since 1989. We are Vero. For all your insurance needs, my number is 772-778-9222. Go Indians.
More Countdown to Kickoff by Cap's Pizza and Pub.
Well, Coach Jay, tonight we take on Palm Beach Gardens, an opponent that we're familiar with. It is a kickoff classic. So give us the scoop on the Gardens and the format for the game as well.
Yeah, so it's the kickoff classic, which what that means is in a sense it's a preseason game, but it's played just as it would be any other game. I know a lot of times when you start comparing, it was the spring game, a kickoff classic, and different rules and all those things. And a lot of times in the spring we modify special teams, or we modify the length of games, or we're going to spend the fourth quarter playing, these guys and those guys. And this particular game, it's regular game format. You will have, regular clock. I think what both coaching staffs are looking to get out of this is you do want to evaluate your special teams. You do want to put them under fire and make sure that you're running things exactly as it's going to be run during the course of the season. Obviously, offense and defense goes without saying. So we're going to treat it as we would any regular season game. We may see, a few more substitutions and try to still continue, as we're still early in the season, in the evaluation process. We've got, multiple positions where we still have position battles and still some concerns with depth chart and who's going to go out there and who's going to run out there first. But I think overall, I think our fans will see this as a regular game. We're surely going to treat it that way. It is senior night in addition to that, and we started doing senior night, early in the season to really get our seniors to know and understand that we're excited about them for the entire season and not just one of our last games. So we get that tonight as well, and so as far as Gardens, I think our fans, as you mentioned, are used to seeing the blue and orange that the Palm Beach Gardens Gators wear, and played them last year in the regular season. That was, again, a little bit of a funky deal. I think we ended up playing them on a Monday night and had some things prior to that go on, but all in all, Coach Higgins has been there for a while now, and obviously a team that is, I think we categorized Palm Beach County as kind of the haves and have-nots. I think they've been one of the haves for several years and always have a quality program, always in the playoffs, typically making a big run. And so we're excited to have them here at the Citrus Bowl. Really excited to have our fans back in the Citrus Bowl, excited about football season. It gets my juices going when I get to do an interview with you guys, because we know we're getting close and really just excited to get the game started tonight.
Well, we are as well, Coach, and we know we're going to have a Citrus Bowl of fans with the same mentality. Coach, as always, we appreciate you sitting down with us. We'll let you jump over to the players. We'll be right back. You're listening to Countdown to Kickoff on your Christian FM.
Christian FM thanks SOS Pest Services, who know that Florida's warm climate means pests of all types, disrupting our comfort and lifestyle. When it's time to sound the alarm, SOS will send their technicians to promptly deal with the problem, so no more worries about unwanted guests. SOS Pest has a range of services tailored to meet individual needs, serving Orchid, Indian River Shores, North Hutchinson Island, and surrounding areas. Owned and managed by lifetime local pros. Online at sospestservices.com or 772-296-2966.
Cafe 66, located on US 1 just south of 8th Street. At Cafe 66, our breakfast menu is all about variety. From biscuits and gravy, to country fried steak and eggs, to Nutella stuffed French toast. Our lunch and dinner menus have something for everyone, from barbecue platters to unique burgers. Our hours online at cafe66vero.com. We proudly support the Fighting Indians.
Masters Academy has excelled in biblical worldview education from pre-K through 12th grade since 1998. Alongside their quality college prep education, Masters Academy offers multiple self-paced high school programs, blending academic education with specialized trade skills. Masters Academy is located at the corner of 58th Avenue and 12th Street in Vero Beach. For more information about obtaining a Christ-centered education, contact Masters Academy at info@mastersvb.org.
Summers in Florida mean hot weather with lots of rain. Having gutters that work well is a must for most homes. Thanks to Able Gutter Services for their partnership. They provide premium products crafted to ensure customer satisfaction while protecting from water damage and maintaining structural integrity. Able Gutter Services in Indian River, St. Lucie, and Brevard County. Their number is 772-766.
Paris, as we get set for tonight's contest. And Gary, there's a lot of different things we could talk about. I mean, with our podcast, we've covered, from NIL to the schedule and all those different things. Right now is going to be the fun part for these boys. They've been working hard all summer long. They've had 7-on-7s. They've had camps. They've just had long, hot workouts going on. Here's the reward tonight. You get to play in your first game in front of the home crowd.
And I think this crowd is going to be excited. They cannot believe that a starting quarterback for Vero Beach is a freshman. So
it's unheard of.
Champ Mounds will be, everybody will be looking at him tonight to see how well he plays. And just the situation as a freshman quarterback, you just don't ever see it. But this kid's a phenomenal athlete. He's 6'3", 200 pounds. And I tell you what, folks, I'm excited as you are to see him play at this level.
Well, fortunately for Mr. Mons, what will happen is he's got some help around him. He's got some interesting targets to go to, GP. And E.J. White, who's coming back with a lot of experience. 2 years already on varsity. He's going to be starting his junior year here at Vero Beach High School. And then he's got Jarvis Jacobs, who's had some playing time over the last couple of seasons. Lorenzo Williams was somebody who was on the team last year. He moved away. He's moved back. He's got experience in this offense. And then you've got a guy who transferred in over the summer, Xavier Stenson. 4 outstanding wide receivers, and then we haven't even gotten to the backfield where you've got Lancefort and Jannard Young.
This is going to be it's see how well these guys come together, how well they mesh together, because there's a lot of new faces.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of times because you get kids that transfer in from other schools, you get 8th graders that become 9th graders, and then they're part of the team. So there's a lot of new faces. And the most important thing is to find out how well they mesh together, how well they understand. And the thing that I want to watch and see is you and I talk about football IQ.
Mm-hmm.
How well can you adapt and adjust to the game? How well do you know the game? And to me, I want to see that with a lot of young kids. They're like 16, maybe more, maybe up to 18 freshmen and sophomores dressed out tonight for this game. And there's a lot of good talent in that freshman group.
Up front to protect Mr. Mons and hopefully give him time to throw the ball or open up some holes for those running backs. You've got a pretty interesting offensive line coming in here, Gary. Got some experience in there. Ben Hall's coming back. You've got Champ Smith coming back, Romeo Vargas, who had some playing time. You got 3 guys on this line that are over 300 pounds.
Absolutely. And again, we talk about Champ Mons. How about Champ Smith?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the country's waiting to see how well he plays this year. I mean, his scholarships, he's a Division I lineman.
Yep.
And then you got Romeo Vargas, who's 6'2", 300 pounds, who can play both defense and offense. Along with, as you said, the experience of Ben Hall. You got Big Corbin Phillips, 6'2", 370 pounds at center. That may be the biggest center in the country at that. But he is a good ball player. And then you got O'Shea Wright, who is in now as a right guard.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm interested in seeing how well he plays this year also.
It's going to be interesting to see how as Gary said, the teamwork, the camaraderie, the chemistry, how quickly can these guys come together and against a different opponent. Now, they've been playing against each other for quite a while, over several weeks, and you know how it goes, Gary. It's like after a while, you're just so tired of seeing that same jersey on the other side of that line. Now's the opportunity. They get to see the Garden Gators on the opposite side.
Absolutely, and this is an exhibition game. It's a game that has nothing to do with your status as a playoff team. It has nothing to do with wins, W's, and L's. What this game is set up for is that, believe it or not, the Florida High School Athletic Association puts this on, and they get a big chunk of the gate so they can continue their program. But the exhibition game is to see how many kids you can get into the game, how many players you want to look at. Now, you got a 9th grade quarterback here. He's going to get a lot of the snaps.
I would suspect, yeah.
And then you've got two new really running backs that come in. We saw Lancefort at the end of the year last year when Hillsman got hurt.
Right.
And Oglesby took the most of the snaps in the rest of the game, but he was the guy that would come in and fill in times too. So I'm interested in seeing how Lancefort, and I love Jannard Young. This kid is a power runner. If he plays like he did for us, he's a freshman last year for the JV, he dominated games. He can run hard. He's smart. He knows the game. He's going to be fun to watch. And then the receiving core, Paul, as you said, Lorenzo Williams, I coached him when he was in 9th grade. He had so much talent. He's not a big guy. He's 5'7", 140 pounds, but he's so fast. He's got soft hands, and he understands the game. He can get away from you real quick before you know it, and he's a good athlete there. We know Jarvis Jacobs is back. He had a good, he learned a lot from last year. He had a good spring. That helped him out more than anything. Then how about on your outside receivers, E.J. White, who's 6'2", and weighs 160 pounds. Then on the other side, you've got number 10, Xavier Stinson, who's 6'2" or 3", and he's 180 pounds. So you got some height on the outside, good speed to the inside. If you give our quarterbacks time to run or pass, we should have a lot of fun.
It's going to be interesting. We've only talked about the offense. We're going to take a break. We come back. We're going to talk about that defense. I think it might be better than last year's. We'll talk about that when we come back. We're counting down to kickoff here at your Christian FM and Vero Nation Network.
Comfort Zone AC and Heating of Vero Beach has been servicing Indian River County for over 40 years, using only certified technicians. As a Christian, family, and veteran-owned and operated business, they offer comprehensive air conditioning, heating, and indoor air quality solutions to their clients. Online at ComfortZoneACNow.com. Proud supporters of the Fighting Indians.
Mazzarella's Auto Sales is part of a local business family and their Christian FM supporters.
I'm sales manager Mike Mazzarella, and we always strive to offer late model cars and trucks that undergo inspection and service by our high-tech mechanics. We have Jeeps, Rams, Toyotas, Hondas, commercial vehicles, and luxury vehicles. On site, we have our Spanish-speaking sales and financial advisor Diego Sainz. We also offer our virtual showroom online at mazautosales.com.
I'm Chris, Mike's brother. Our family has been serving our community since 1999.
Now on the corner, 4th Street in Old